Hi friends, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a therapist, I'm a mom. My name is Ina Irby. So yesterday when I did my little spiel, I kept saying, pass the blood and the wine. Look, I'm one take Tiffany. I don't go over notes. I try, and yesterday I really wanted to get my feelings out, and I think that's why I didn't retake it. If I have to retake it. And sometimes this stupid thing doesn't work the way I want to. And there are times when I just pour out my feelings and none of it actually gets taken because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm the kind of mother that my kids hand me the camera and they say, okay, Mom, take the picture. And the whole time I'm videoing it. Or they say, take the video, and the whole time I'm taking a picture because I'm not doing it right. So, technology is a little bit of a challenge. And I grew up in the time when you had to memorize all the computer information. Control F7, Shift F5. So when we got an Apple computer, my husband just flew on it. And he knew how to touch all the right things and make it go, and I still was quite frightened because it was just so simple. So I don't have notes, right? I don't have notes. Sometimes I lose my thought. So thank you for just hanging in. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm sharing my journey with you. And it's scary, it's interesting, especially because we have this wonderful event we're all dealing with. I don't know if any of you have ever read this, but it's called The Jesus Discovery. Have you ever seen that book? It's by James D. Tabor and Simcha Jacobovici. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know, probably not. But it has some interesting theories. I am probably on the second chapter, because I'm on page 40. I think being out of the way Jehovah's organization, or right, Jehovah's organization, or the organization, it's allowed me a lot of an opportunity to not feel the guilt of reading. So I really enjoy reading. And I, like I said, am a Christian, and it's kind of daunting to say the word. But it's allowed me, being out for even just a few months has allowed me to explore different books, different reasonings that people have. It's been really wonderful to have that freedom. And even as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I found that I was limiting the information that I could take in, like all the watchtowers, the wakes that were coming out, even though they had limited the monthly journals that they give out to their publishers. I had to limit myself because I wasn't able to read my Bible. I couldn't read my Bible, and I was only reading the New World Translation. So now, like I said, I have other translations. And then there's Bible Hub, and I appreciate that. I didn't realize that the New World Translation had its own version of Scripture. So, yeah, it's all very eye-opening, and I just really appreciate that I have that freedom now, that I really have the freedom and without the guilt. Before, I was just reading the Bible. And there were times when we would only do, let's say, the study article on Sundays, and we'd only study the information during the week because any extra studying was too hard for my family, and it was too hard for me as a spiritual head because I couldn't get anything in for myself. And I found I did all my own indoctrinating. We never got invited over to other families' homes because that was a suggestion in watchtowers and awakes and at meetings, that families would invite other families that had that were orphaned, pretty much spiritual orphans, that they could come over and have family study together. I got invited, but it was very uncomfortable. I didn't really feel comfortable with elders that never had children. If you were a couple and you invited me over and you never had kids, I didn't feel comfortable I didn't feel that you could impart the information that needed to be done with somebody who had had children and had children of different ages and maybe had raised their children. So in the organization. So yeah. And then I also had a hard time with sisters who were married to elders. So I rarely called elders because I saw what it did to my family when my mother did that. And I also saw how information that my mother would give an elder somehow would get spread around a congregation. And that didn't feel comfortable to me. And I didn't want to do that to my husband because he wasn't there. And I just didn't want that for my family. I would call from time to time. When my husband first left the organization, I did call elders, and it would be few and far between. I didn't like it when a woman or when their wife would answer, and that's who I ended up having to talk to, is to get to the elder. And I could tell that they didn't really want, their husband was busy, and one particular sister would say, well, so-and-so is busy. He can't talk to you right now. And it was already uncomfortable enough to be able to make the phone call. So when I got that kind of response, that was it. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to call again. And some of these elders' wives have difficulties with other women. So they don't want you calling their husbands. And of course, the encouragement from the branch has been that if you're an elder, don't talk to sisters alone. You've heard of I have heard of a couple of occasions where the elder's wife dies and he has been helping a certain single sister, and of course he ends up marrying that single sister. So things happen and you get a connection because you end up talking to the same person. So I understand the wives if they have issues with women calling their husbands. And I would imagine I didn't get invited to elders' family studies. And I would imagine, thinking back now, that it's because they have stresses on their families and they don't want to have someone else in their family study if they're doing their family study. And family study, I know for my immediate family growing up as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, was not particularly comfortable. It was a time when instead of being able to come together and read the scriptures, it was a time where my family generally hashed everything out. And it was a very uncomfortable situation when it came to our family study. And when my husband and I when we got married, we were young. We were enjoying life. We weren't doing Bible studies together. So I just wanted to share that. I am one take Tiffany. I only do it once. If I make a mistake on my videos, I'm sorry. Just know that I try and clean it up the best way I can, but it's a busy household here. I have children and I still have things that I have to do as a wife and keeping my home clean. And it's not all about being an ex-Jehovah's Witness now. It's about other things. It's about, like I said, learning how to cook differently, being able to read books, being able to spend time with my husband. This is a whole new experience. And I know we're in challenging times right now, but I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's exciting that the time that we're living in. I am a little disappointed because I thought I was going to be the only one that was missing Memorial this year, and nope. Looks like I thought I was going to be a rebel and not go to the memorial this year. It looks like all Jehovah's Witnesses are not going to the memorial this year. So, yeah, I'm a little, the air from my balloon is kind of blown out. Anyway, I still want to do something special. It's my very first memorial that I'll be missing, and I want it to be memorable. And, well, lots of people will have a very memorable memorial this year. I hope you're doing okay. I hope your families are doing okay. And I send lots of loving thoughts and big hug over video camera. And okay, well, follow your bliss and be good humans.